Good morning to each and everyone. My name is Kate Angie Sumugod, a second-year college student from the College of Education, currently taking Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Sciences. So today I will discuss to you the continuation of the report of the previous reporter about the climate change and energy crisis. So in his report, he already discussed the causes and the other causes and effects of climate change. So in my discussion today, I will just add some informations regarding to the causes and the other effects of climate change in our society. One of the factors that causes climate change is the overpopulation. So what is overpopulation? Overpopulation refers to a situation where the specific number of people in a specific geographic area exceeds the carrying capacity of that area. In simple terms, it occurs when the population size surpasses the available resources and infrastructure needed to sustain a comfortable standard of living. Overpopulation can be a result of high birth rates, declining death rates, immigration, or a combination of these factors. So, the consequences of overpopulation can include increased competition for limited resources, strain on infrastructure, environmental degradation, social and economic inequalities, and challenges in providing essential services like healthcare, education, and housing. So, overpopulation can also lead to higher rates of poverty, unemployment, crime, and social unrest. So, because of the increasing number of overpopulation, many humans will suffer, especially those who lives in poverty. So, because of this, yung mga nakasanayan nating bilhin na araw-araw is maaring di na natin sila mabibili ulit. Because nga, magtataas yung demand, magtataas rin yung mga price ng mga bilihin. So, those who live in poverty, kahit yung bigas is may possibility na hindi na sila makakabili ng bigas. So, those who live in poverty will do crimes or magnanakaw na lang sila just to provide their daily needs. Because one of our daily needs is food. Our daily needs is water, clothes. So, dahil nga, nag-increase na yung population natin, may possibility na magtataas din yung mga products and most of us cannot be able to afford it. So, one of the factors that the overpopulation can be addressed is through family planning. So, with the help of the family planning, we can control the increasing number of population and save our community. Overpopulation can have significant impacts on science, technology, and society. So let's explore them one by one. So in science, overpopulation can put immense pressure on scientific research and development. With a rapidly growing population, there is an increased demand for advancements in various fields such as medicine, agriculture, and environmental sciences. Scientists often need to find innovative solutions to tackle challenges related to healthcare, food production, resource scarcity, and pollution. Because of the increasing number of our population, scientists are now aware on innovating new techniques and ideas on how to advance in various fields such as in medicine, agriculture, and environmental sciences. So in agriculture, scientists are now implementing new agricultural techniques on how to grow plants and how to produce foods. In technology, overpopulation can drive the need for technological advancements to manage the increasing demands of society. For instance, transportation infrastructure may need to be improved to accommodate larger populations, leading to advancements in transportation technology. Additionally, technologies that address energy waste management, and sustainable resource utilization become crucial to support a growing population. And lastly, in the society, overpopulation can have profound effects on society as it strains social systems and resources. Increased competition for limited resources like housing, jobs, education, and healthcare can lead to social inequalities and economic disparities. It can also impact social dynamics, cultural practices, and community cohesion. Societal responses to overpopulation can vary, including efforts to promote family planning, urban planning, and sustainable development. It is important to note that the impacts of overpopulation are complex and multifaceted and can vary depending on the specific context and region. Solutions often involve a combination of scientific research, technological innovation, and social initiatives to ensure a sustainable and balanced future for all. So now let's proceed to the climate change. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns on Earth. It is primarily caused by human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes which release greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane in the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, leading to the greenhouse effect and an increase in global temperatures. So the impacts of climate change are extensive and diverse. They include rising sea levels, more frequent and severe natural disasters like hurricanes and wildfires, shifts in precipitation patterns, heat waves, and droughts. These changes can have detrimental effects on ecosystems, biodiversity, agriculture, water resources, and human health. Climate change is a global issue that requires collective action to mitigate and adapt to its effects. Efforts to address it includes reducing greenhouse gas emissions through transitioning to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, promoting sustainable land use practices, and protecting and restoring natural habitats. Additionally, adaptation strategies such as building resilient infrastructure, implementing early warning systems, and developing climate resilient agriculture can help communities cope with the changes already occurring. International agreements such as the Paris Agreement aim to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels and pursue efforts to limit the temperature increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Governments, organizations, and individuals are encouraged to take action to reduce their carbon footprint and promote sustainable practices in order to mitigate the impacts of climate change. So, there are scientific evidences that support the existence of rapid climate change. So, here are some key pieces of evidence. First is the rising global temperatures. Average global temperatures have been steadily increasing since the late 19th century, when the past few decades experiencing accelerated warming. This is evidenced by temperature records from weather stations, satellites, and other sources. Next is the melting ice and rising sea levels. Arctic sea ice is shrinking at an alarming rate, and glaciers and ice sheets are melting worldwide. As a result, sea levels have risen by about 8 to 9 inches or 20 to 22 centimeters since the early 20th century, threatening coastal communities. Next is the ocean acidification. Increased carbon dioxide emissions are absorbed by the oceans, leading to ocean acidification. This process negatively impacts marine life, particularly coral reefs and shellfish, which rely on calcium carbonate to build their shells and skeletons. Next is the extreme weather events. The frequency and intensity of extreme weather events such as hurricanes, heat waves, droughts, and heavy rainfall have been increasing. These events are consistent with the projections of climate models and linked to climate change. Next is the changing ecosystems and species distribution. Many plant and animal species are being forced to shift their ranges or are facing extinction due to changing climate conditions. This is particularly evident in polar regions, coral reefs, and other vulnerable ecosystems. These records show that the current rate of climate change is unprecedented in recent history. So there are more other impacts or other evidences that result on the rapid support the existence of rapid climate change. These pieces of evidence, among others, contribute to our understanding of the rapid climate change occurring today and the urgent need for action to mitigate its impacts. Climate change can be caused by both human processes and human activities. So here are the main factors contributing to climate change. So in the natural causes, first is the solar radiation. Variation in solar activity can influence Earth's climate. Changes in the sun's energy output can lead to fluctuations in temperature and climate patterns over long periods. Next are the volcanic activity. Volcanic eruptions release large amounts of gases and ash into the atmosphere. Volcanic emissions such as sulfur dioxide can have a cooling effect by reflecting sunlight back into space. However, the impact of volcanic eruptions on climate is temporary and relatively small compared to human-induced factors. Next are the human activities. First is the greenhouse gas emissions. The burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases, including carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, trap heat from the sun and contribute to the greenhouse effect, leading to global warming. Next is the deforestation. The cutting down of trees release largest amount of stored carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Forests act as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide through photosynthesis. Deforestation reduces the Earth's capacity to absorb these emissions, contributing to increased level of greenhouse gases. Now, in agriculture. Agricultural practices such as livestock farming and rice cultivation emit significant amounts of methane and nitrous oxide, both potent greenhouse gases. Additionally, the use of synthetic fertilizers in agriculture contributes to nitrous oxide emissions. Next is the industrial processes. Various industrial activities release greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. These emissions come from burning fossil fuels for energy, manufacturing processes, and chemical reaction. It's important to note that while natural causes have historically influenced the climate, the current rapid climate change is primarily driven by human activities. The increase in greenhouse gas emissions from burning fossil fuels and deforestation has significantly intensified the greenhouse effect, leading to global warming and climate change. So let's proceed to the impacts of climate change in our society. So climate change has a wide range of effects on society. Its first impact is that it causes extreme weather events such as heat waves, storms, floods, and droughts. These events can cause significant damage to infrastructure, homes, and agriculture that disrupts people's lives and leading to economic losses. Next is the rising sea levels. As global temperatures rise, ice caps and glaciers melt, causing sea levels to rise. This puts coastal communities at increased risk of flooding and erosion, displacing population and damaging coastal ecosystems. Next is the health impacts. Climate change affects human health through increased exposure to heat stress, air pollution, and diseases. Heat waves can cause heat-related illnesses and even deaths, while changing weather patterns can impact the spreads of vector-borne diseases like malaria and dengue fever. Other factors are food and water security, which affects the agricultural productivity, leading to crop failures and reduced food production. Next is the economic consequences. The impact of climate change in various sectors of the economy can be substantial. The disruptions in agriculture, tourism, and other industries can lead to job losses and economic instability, particularly in vulnerable regions. And the most important factor that affects the society is the migration and displacement. Climate change-induced environmental degradation and natural disasters can force communities to leave their homes, leading to increased migration and displacement. This can result in social, cultural, and economic challenges for both the displaced individuals and the areas they relocate to. Addressing climate change requires collective efforts such as reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy sources, and adapting to the changes already occurring. It is essential to prioritize sustainable practices and work together to mitigate the impacts on society. So that's all for my report. Thank you.